What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off this upcoming week, it is a shorter week. Martin Luther King on Monday, so the market is closed. Plus, you do have the whole Trump inauguration, and dependent on some of the kind of executive orders that he does go through with and signs, that could cause some volatility, whether it is, let's say, tariff related, or he's already come out and stated that he wants to remove that 7,500 credit, EV credit. Even though Lucid doesn't necessarily for face value qualify for that, indirectly through leasing it does, so potentially that could cause some volatility. But data point related though, the only thing to really watch for is Friday existing home sales, and based on last Friday we did have permits and also builds. Both data points came in better than anticipated, so it is fair to assume that similarly this is going to do the same. So forecast for that is 4.1 million. So all in all, should be a very volatile week. You have some pretty big companies unveiling their earnings. One is going to be Netflix. So I think they are the only ones out of everyone listed here that actually has the ability to really move the market, similar to what happened, I think it was Q2 2024, when Netflix, the market was in a massive pullback. Netflix's earnings honestly was the saving grace. Possibly might have been Q3, but beside the point, I think a lot of importance is placed on Netflix, more specifically their future guidance. So that's coming out Tuesday after hours. Specific to Lucid though, no fireside chats planned. They do have two things that's listed on their website. So Montreal Auto Show, so January the 17th to the 26th. And then aside from that, you have this, the Canadian International Auto Show. This was just added. Even though it's not this upcoming week, I just wanted to kind of bring this up as a more of a point that they seem to be targeting Canada of all places. So they do want to move up north, maybe because they anticipate Trump to take over Canada, 51st state and all that fun jazz. But it's good to see. Last news actually coming out associated to Lucid was Canadian pricing, and I did a video, very excited. So they are improving. So nonetheless though, the only thing to really kind of watch for is maybe just some posts on social media about the Montreal Auto Show. But yeah, it should be a very volatile week aside from anything specific to Lucid. So let me know your thoughts on that. Going into this upcoming week, 18.99% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 226.27 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 1.07. And I think just generally shorts will be rather timid unless there is going to be, let's say, that 7,500 credit getting taken away. That is where maybe shorts might awaken potentially and cause a lot more damage, because over the last little bit, as I've done a video on, in December they did return, I think it was closer to like 45 to 50 million shares. So they have freed up quite a lot of room. So potentially they have the ability to double down if data points are rather negative. So just kind of be aware of that. But based on options, so this is all the open interest from last week, with it closing above 3, not above 350 though. So all of that 350 and above is going to be expired worthless. Everything 3 and sub is going to be in the money. So what does that mean? Roughly around, what was that, 79,000 in the money options. So market makers are going to have to cover that because they don't have a lot of volatile stocks such as Lucid readily available. So you should see a nice pop, push higher straight out the gate come Tuesday. And so they do have to cover arguably around 7.9 million shares. But then again, I'm sure some of this could have already been covered, especially at that 250 strike price. So again, regardless, as far as the magnitude, I'm not really sure, but you should see a push higher straight out the gate on Tuesday. And big money has been starting to pay more and more attention to it. So that's always a good sign. And plus, on a side note, you do see a abnormal amount of buying that did occur on Friday after hours. So that could have been as well market makers covering some of these options. But still, like I said, I anticipate a nice kind of push higher. But with it at 307, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 287 is going to be the next strong support to really watch for going into this upcoming week. And then 342 and potentially 377 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. I think just at the same time, the market is really factoring in that there is going to be a post-inauguration pump across the board. So kind of just stay tuned for that. For those of you that watch options, this upcoming week does have a abnormally high premium that's being placed on it, insinuating that the market does feel that there might be a run. But as far as where it did close on Friday, so it was able to successfully hold that ALMA, so that is 305. So going into the next couple trading days, just watch for that. Aside from that, both the 100 and 200 day moving averages are pretty much together at 293, so that is going to act as a very strong support. So just anticipate, like I said, a lot of volatility. If these 2 points are broken, then there is a little bit more of a essential free fall that could happen. So again, just be aware of that. But in my opinion, I think that there is still a lot more upside. Obviously, Lucid has built and has been improving considerably year over year. So there might be what I anticipate a kind of a pre-earnings FOMO run to maybe around that 360. That's where I realistically see things, if not potentially a little bit higher. And then depending on the results and what they give for guidance, this is where you could see higher or kind of a pull down. It's all going to come down to the guidance all in all. But based on this upcoming week, I think that there is some good reasons to be somewhat cautiously optimistic. So most likely touching that 342 this week, and then dependent on companies unveiling the earnings, maybe news specific to Lucid, this is where you could see maybe above that or potentially where it is. So let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think that Trump is going to really shake the boat straight out the gate? And do you think that the EV sector is going to be on the chopping block? So yeah, what's your viewpoint? Nonetheless, though, I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of volatility. So for those of you that don't know options, take the time to research them, because honestly, volatility and options, they're best friends. So any volatile stock, you can make some pretty good money. And a lot of the stocks I do have on my watch list right over here are ones that I do options, sometimes weekly options on them, especially SoFi. Lucid, it's kind of in a difficult place based on just the wide gaps based on the strike prices. But for instance, Rivian, SoFi are very popular ones, Robinhood. So you can definitely make some good money. So take the time to research and do what you need to do, especially with Monday, the market close and whatnot. One final thing I do want to share with you, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. So pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.